What if I told you you could heal almost any relationship with a simple technique? No awkward conversations, no closure needed, no emotional drama, just a quiet inner shift that changes everything. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I could show you exactly how it works and give you the method to do it yourself starting today? Let me tell you a quick story. A woman I know, let's call her Emily, had been at war with her sister for years. Not with fists or screaming, with silence. They had a falling out over their late father's estate. One said something, the other got mad about it. And before long, the love between them was buried under resentment. Every family gathering was tense. Fake smiles, avoidance, emotional landmines everywhere. Emily told me, it's like I'm still fighting with her in my head, even when we're not in the same room. Maybe you know that feeling, when a relationship keeps hurting you, even in their absence. But here's what changed everything. Emily didn't confront her sister. She didn't write her a letter. She didn't demand closure. She used a technique I call P.O.F.ing, short for power of focus. In less than 2 weeks, her relationship transformed. Her energy shifted, and like magic, her sister began showing up differently too. Today, I'm going to show you how to do that very same thing. A quick heads up. Stick around until the end of this video because I've got 2 free gifts for you. First, I'm giving you a downloadable copy of my new book, P.O.F. It. It's short, powerful, and gives you everything you need to start healing your relationships and reclaiming your focus. Everything in this video today. Second, I'm going to show you how to unlock a free month of Zygon Premium. That's our full mind mastery system for rewiring negative belief patterns, building peak performance, and programming the future that you actually want to live. Both links are in the description, but I'll explain exactly how to get them at the end. All right, let's get into it. When a relationship goes wrong, we often replay the moment that it broke. What they said, what we didn't say, what we wish we said. And every time we replay that moment, we end up reinforcing the emotional field between us. Think of it like this. Relationships are energetic circuits. Every thought, feeling, and interaction wires us together with that other person. And when one person is stuck in pain or anger, the circuit stays hot. The loop keeps spinning. The negative energy just hangs in the air. Most people try to fix this by talking it out or cutting people off. But there's a third way, a higher way, one where you reclaim your energy by shifting your focus. And that's what P.O.F.ing is, power of focus. P.O.F.ing is the conscious decision to stop fueling the loop. You don't ignore what happened. You don't forget the trespasses or pretend that it didn't hurt. You just stop feeding it with your attention. Instead, you choose a new focus, a new emotional frequency, and you hold it like a tuning fork. It's subtle, but it's powerful because energy follows focus, and what you stop feeding starts dissolving. Let me share with you a quick personal story. Years ago, my daughter had a blow-up with her best friend. She was convinced she was right, and she said she'd never speak to her again. I asked her, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? She paused, her anger softened, and she said, well, I guess I'd rather be happy. 2 days later, they were friends again. That's how fast the loop can shift. People get too wrapped around the axle of the need to be right, which is ego, versus focusing on what matters, which is being happy and healing the relationship. Once you learn to get past the need to be right, there is a simple technique that you can deploy that works most every time. Here's how to do it. Not with force, not with silence, but by shifting the only thing that really matters, your focus, because your focus is everything. And here's step 1, break the loop. Every loop is really a mental emotional pattern. It repeats because you keep feeding it. They always disappoint me. They never hear me. They never change. The first step is to cut the cord and instead say to yourself, I release this loop. I stop feeding this story. Instead, I choose peace. Just that alone breaks the trance. Step 2, choose a new focus. Ask, what do I want the energy between us to be like? Not some fantasy, not perfection. Choose something that's real and grounded. There's peace between us. I send calm, not conflict. They're doing the best they can. This becomes then your anchor phrase. You don't say it once, you're actually installing it into your being. Step 3, engage with the new focus. Before you interact with them again, pause. Repeat your anchor. Feel it, hold it, and then when you do engage, even if it's just passing them in the hallway or replying to a text message, do it from that new focus. You drop the old pattern entirely. You're no longer playing that game anymore. Instead, look for positive commonality. Could be something small, a shared goal, a neutral subject, a soft tone. Speak as if the new energy is already present. Give them something positive. I'll give you an example. I had an argument with my employee the other day, and they stuck with their position on a particular direction the project was taking. They had been working very long hours and weekends to catch up, and we got into it a bit, and they had missed a deadline. And we're not seeing the big picture of how important this project was to the overall success of the company. So they became entrenched and angry. I could have been more demanding and escalated the conversation. After all, I pay their salary. But that would have created silent resentment, and not only would the work suffer, we would both walk away not feeling good about the relationship. Instead, I chose to pause and P.O.F him right there. I said something like, I know you've been working hard on this and putting in a lot of extra hours and sacrificing time with your family. And I want you to know how much I appreciate that. And I understand if you can't do any more. Perhaps we can add another person to this project and get you some help, as we still need to meet the deadline. Instantly, things shifted. The anger and resentment wasn't there. He thanked me and then said how difficult things were at home. And that instead of hiring new people, he would simply refocus his efforts and make the deadline. There are millions of variations of the P.O.F-ing technique. But more than anything else, it's a simple shift in focus and attitude and diffusing the negative energy from you, not them. You're not faking it, you're embodying it. And that's how the emotional field rewrites itself. So you're able to see this completely. Let me give you another example. You ask your spouse for help. They snap. Can't you just take care of it? Old loop. You argue or shut down and walk away. The P.O.F shift. I see their exhaustion. I choose peace. And so you say, I get it. You've been carrying a lot lately. If this is too much right now, I understand. But I'd really appreciate your help when you can. They now feel seen, not blamed, and they end up showing up differently. Your parent says, still not married? Is that really a stable job? Old loop? You feel judged. You shut down. The P.O.F shift? They care. They just don't know how to show it. I stay grounded. So here's how you respond. I know you mean well. I'm actually excited about what I'm doing. Would you like to hear more about it? That's the shift. P.O.F-ing isn't passive. It's not confrontational. It's not pretending. It's just redirecting the energy and then engaging from that new energy. And even if they never do change, and some may not, your experience does. And that's what matters. Here's what most people don't realize. Every negative relationship runs on a hidden contract. I hurt, so you owe me. I'm the victim, so you're the villain. I stay angry so I don't have to forgive you. But P.O.F.ing breaks that contract. It tells the emotional field surrounding the relationship, I no longer consent to this negative energy cycle. And so the energy begins to change. Sometimes it's instant, sometimes it takes a while, but it does shift, and always from the inside out first. And yes, you can P.O.F. yourself too. Those inner voices like, I'm not enough, I always mess it up, they're also energy loops, and you can shift them too. I release my old story. I choose growth. I'm allowed to evolve. Do it as a deep level, and your inner focus over time becomes your outer life. Emily used to brace herself every time her sister walked in the room. Now they talk weekly, after 10 years of not talking. The anger, the pain, it's no longer their energy pattern. So what changed? Emily did. Not her sister, and not by therapy or force, but by shifting her focus and wanting it to be different. And that's P.O.F.ing. Before we wrap, let me answer a few questions that I get all the time about P.O.F.ing, because once you understand the method and the principle, the natural step is, but what about this situation? So question, what if the other person never changes? Well, that's the beautiful part, because they don't have to. P.O.F.ing isn't about controlling someone else's behavior. It's about reclaiming your peace of mind. And when you shift your energy, you stop participating in the old loop. Sometimes they change, sometimes they don't. But either way, you're free. Isn't this just spiritual bypassing? Okay, great question. No, this isn't bypassing anything. Bypassing is pretending that nothing happened. P.O.F.ing begins with awareness. You see the pattern, you acknowledge the pain, and then you choose a new focus. You're not avoiding the truth. You're just refusing to stay stuck in the version of it that drains you. What if the relationship is abusive and toxic? Well, P.O.F.ing doesn't mean staying in harm's way. It's not about excusing behavior. It's about just reclaiming your emotional sovereignty. In situations like that, P.O.F.ing helps you detach cleanly. You're not reacting, you're not escalating. You're resetting the field inside yourself so that you can make strong decisions from clarity, not trauma. Can I use P.O.F.ing with someone who's already gone from my life? Well, absolutely. In fact, that's when it's often the most powerful, because the loop is still alive in your mind, and P.O.F.ing allows you to release them emotionally, even if there's no resolution in the physical sense. You shift from replaying the pain to holding peace, and that's where healing begins. If you've got more questions, drop them in the comments below. I do read them, and I'll be answering them in upcoming episodes. Now go try this and P.O.F. your life back into harmony. If any of this resonated with you, I wrote a short book called P.O.F. It. It includes scripts, real-life examples, how to P.O.F. anyone, even yourself, and how to reset your energy daily. It's free, and you can download it below. And if you want to go deeper, to rewire emotional patterns, install new beliefs, and train your subconscious to respond differently, transforming all aspects of your life, then here's what you can do. Get a free month of Zygon Premium. And here's how. Subscribe to this channel, leave a comment below, your biggest takeaway or a loop that you're ready to break. Go to zygon.net/free month to unlock your access. Then go inside the Zygon Empowerment app or the Zygon Academy, where you'll find hundreds of tools and trainings that align perfectly with what you've learned today. So here's your next move. Pick one person, one loop, one shift that you'd like to make, and P.O.F. it. Watch what happens.